Boy Tone 202 coming at you one more time. Go look at this couch over here. Are black people becoming too dangerous? Alright, so first time I ever seen this. So a black business owner, man, selling wings or whatever. I saw this on World Star Hip Hop. Dude was complaining, hey, what's going on? Fearless, what's happening? So, dude had a sign in his window. You mean the police, bro? No, black people. Black people. The younger generation, I should have really said. Because the younger generation are, like, their mentality is completely different from people who are 35 and up. Yeah. Checking out this couch. People throw stuff away all the time. I just come look at it. But I really meant the younger generation. So, not black people as in all of us. But, and I'm gonna fix the heading. Yeah. I'm doing good, Lady G. How are you? But so I meant to say the young generation because when we look at everything now, the younger generation, they move, especially with the George Floyd incident that kicked off, you know, pretty much, all the looting and all the, all the other stuff going on. Now, a lot of their thinking is, millennial thinking is, we don't have to listen to anybody. So if we want something, we're just taking it. Now, some of that is, of course, spurred on by, society, and I'm tired of being beat down, and we get that. And, policing and, the banks messing everything up and student loans jerking everybody. So that's completely understood. Like, okay, forget it. You ain't gonna let us get it the way we supposed to. We gonna get it any old kind of way. However, that is also spilling over onto their own people. We know that there was like 28 murders just within the last, 38 days. And a lot of those murders were children. So we know there were a lot of kids murdered simply because they were in the wrong place they weren't in the wrong place. They were minding their own business. One went out through a car. You know what I'm saying? They just shot her. The mother was in the car and she was making a U-turn, and according to them, they must have crossed on some barrier that they didn't know about, some invisible gang turf. And these gang members let loose on them and killed this little 8-year-old girl. So that's what I'm really talking about. I'm really talking about the younger generation. I'm not talking about all black people. So I'm gonna fix that. But the younger generation, let me see if any more comments. Speak to everyone. That's what's up. So the younger generation is, tearing a strip into everybody, into anything that moves. They don't really have the respect that, like I said, 35 and up, they don't have that same respect. They don't feel like they need to respect you just because you're older. They don't feel like that. They feel like, you have to earn their respect. I'm just not going to give it to you. And so I guess some of that's okay, some of it. But I have a problem with some of it too, because look, we've been here longer than you. We know a lot more than what you do. You know what I'm saying? And some of what we know you're going to need. But if you want to cut off just the whole, if we're not 21, and under, you just want to cut us off, then you're going to be, biting the hand that feeds you, because knowledge is power. And you can go out here and bump your head if you want to, or you can ask an OG and they can tell you exactly which way to roll and help you out. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's completely on you. You know what I'm saying? But when you get your head knocked around and then you're 35, 40 years old and you're tired, beat down, and don't have nothing to show for all your effort, you're going to look in the past and say, you know what? They told me not to do this, but I did it anyway. You're going to learn from your own mistakes that you don't have to make, because we made those mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Because we was young once and we thought we were the it. You know what I'm saying? And then when 40 creeps up on you and your back hurts, you're just like, I was doing this wrong for the last 40 years. And I didn't want to listen to nobody because I was young and fearless. And I thought I had it going on, you know? I had, all the attention I needed. I had a couple dollars. I had a whip. You can't tell me nothing else. Well, the problem is there is no young wise man, according to the Bible. That's what the word says. There is no young wise man. And wisdom is highly valued, especially to the right people. And what the Lord talks about, how a fool rushes in, you know what I'm saying, and all those other proverbs that he uses, what foolish people do, and usually it's a younger person who is doing those things. But we're seeing that the younger generation is, their anger is so misdirected. You know, they have no fear in knocking off somebody of their own color. They have no fear. And we've seen this with the turf and the gang wars. You know, I was already an old man when the Crips and Bloods was doing their thing. We know Crips and Bloods did not start off as gang warriors. We know that turned into something else with the help of, the people who control music and all that. Crips and Bloods were actually people who were helping out their territory. They were the complete opposite of what they are today. Now we're seeing the Crips and Bloods getting back to that, because we're starting to see more unity. But those are older Crips and Bloods who are doing that. Those are not younger Crips and Bloods who are doing that. Those are the older Crips and Bloods. All their homies die and was trying to figure out for what. We've seen people in prisons who used to claim some kind of block or some kind of turf that they didn't own. We're seeing videos from those guys who are like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. Why? Because there's nothing in it for them. They got their heads knocked. They got time taken away from them. I mean, they're sitting in the box doing 20 for what? For some homies? For some street code? Nah, they was like, one dude was like, I'm not claiming nothing when I get back. I'm not claiming no block. I'm not claiming no gang. I'm not claiming none of that. See, that dude learned the hard way. That's what's going to happen to a lot of these young people out here right now, killing him. Like, you can't, I say this all the time, you can't spill innocent blood and expect nothing to happen to you. So now we have a lot of street people who are like, we need to police our own. Now, Marcus Garvey and them been talking about us policing our own. You know what I'm saying? And actually, we were at one time. This is how I think, I'm not sure, but I think the Panthers was started because of they wanted to police their own. So somebody can correct me on that. But I think the Panthers started off that way. They wanted to police their own, the Black Panthers. And it's a good idea. They wanted the white police to stay out of our areas because they knew what the white police were doing. And they were just like, nah, we're going to arm ourselves. We can arm ourselves by the Second Amendment. That's legal. And we can take care of our own neighborhoods. Now, we ain't have prison the first to put people in, but street justice, you don't really need a prison. You don't. You either going to follow the rules or you're going to get dealt with. And usually, if you're going to get dealt with, you're going to catch a beat down or we're going to murder you. It's your choice. Depends on what you do. If you're going around and you hitting women and you know what I'm saying, and for you women, you poisoning your man's food and stuff like that, and you know, you're doing all that kind of stuff, you're going to get dealt with. Some sisters is going to catch up to you and they're going to deal with you. Some brothers is going to catch up with you, they're going to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and if you take that further and people die from what you do, there's a good chance that you're going to be leaving the planet. And that's it. You took it upon yourself to go ahead and take somebody's life. Boom. That's how street justice works. You don't really need no jail. Now we got cats who are talking about getting street justice for those children that died, for those babies that were murdered a couple days ago. You got people like, nah, we gonna get justice, and they're saying, hey, turn them over to us. You know what I'm saying? For you guys who know who did it, turn them over to us. Now we're also seeing, even though some of y'all want the police defunded, I do not want the police defunded. I want the bad police out of the police. That's what I want. But we're also seeing that, like Pop Smoke, his killers, 5 people were arrested because of that. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because that was some street stuff right there. That was some pure 100% street. And I don't get into that because I'm not a street dude. But I do follow the stories. I'm not a street person, so I don't know the ins and outs. So I can't speak on what I don't know. But I do know the story. I do follow the stories. And when I listen to the stories, I just start putting two and two together. Those dudes didn't tell on themselves. You see what I mean? So those people who killed that little girl and all those other children that died, I think that the same street dudes, probably who are sitting right next to him right now, are gonna flip on them. I think they're gonna tell, because I think street justice, I think they're gonna fear retaliation of street justice more than what they're gonna fear the retaliation of the justice system. And I think that fear is going to make somebody turn on somebody else. And you know, it really, all it takes, you know, when these guys commit these crimes, these heinous crimes, and the whole hood gets to talk about them, it's only a matter of time before they find out who really did it. And I think, you know, these guys putting out these videos talking about, yo, we're coming for you, whoever did this. I think whoever was beside them, if they didn't pull the trigger, but they know who they are, and if their name gets mixed up in it, they're gonna start pointing fingers. Yo, so-and-so did it. And I think they're gonna get dealt with. I think you're gonna see, you know, it ain't gonna be front page news. I think they're gonna get dealt with. And that's just that. And I can't say that they're wrong. However, street justice is, you know what I'm saying, the judge and jury, you know, can be anybody out to get vengeance. And street justice turns into vengeance. And you know how vengeance goes. You got to dig 2 graves for vengeance. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now that isn't gang related. It isn't a turf war. It isn't, you know, it's just some idiots popping off and don't have no responsibility for the weapons that they have. They really don't know how to shoot. They're shooting sideways and whatnot. They don't have no respect for the weapon that they have, and they don't have no respect for life. And a lot of them is young people. You're not gonna find older people really doing this. A lot of them is young people. And I'm not really for street justice, but I do understand it. You know, I am for the justice system because I don't really like the whole of the justice system, but some of it, I do feel it is very necessary. Of course, it needs to be revamped, so on and so forth. But nonetheless, these stories, you know, in all these cities that are happening, it's just getting out of hand. You know, when it comes to children, man, children ain't do nothing to you. They don't know you. They don't know about your street war. They don't know anything. All they know is, you know, Teletubbies and SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying? They don't, some 8-year-old girl, man, she don't know nothing about nothing. You know what I'm saying? She was going to go visit her cousin. That's what she was thinking about. Kicking it with her cuz, you know what I mean? And you murdered her like broad daylight. Yo, that type of demon needs to be snuffed out. And that's all that's to it. They need to be dealt with. I think that whoever knows them should turn them into 5-0. And if they get turned into the streets, I think that the streets are going to take them out of here. And that's all that's to it. I think the streets are going to get rid of them. And I'm not necessarily saying they shouldn't. I'm not necessarily saying they should either. That's not my call. I'm not from the streets. But I know if it was my little girl who got hit, I can only say I'm going to want justice. And I'm going to want justice my way. I'm not going to want them to sit up here and go through a whole, court system and get three hots in a cot, sit up there laughing with their homies when they took out my 8-year-old little girl. But there are several children who were just murdered, and they were all black. And we know they don't use this energy, when white people do stuff to them. They don't use that energy and going, I'm not suggesting that they do, but I'm saying, why is it so easy to kill black people? How can you nonchalantly just look? There was a story I had saw where this mother, which is mom, she's outside with her kids, right? And these young men, they was out doing something that she didn't like, and she knew they were dangerous, so she called 50, right? And when she called 50 on them, they knew who called 50. And then she went back outside to sit down and play with her kids. They came back broad daylight and shot her and killed her in front of her children. That is demonic. How do you put that in prison and say you're gonna, we hope to reform you? That's what prison is supposed to be for. It's supposed to be so you can be reformed. How do you reform that? How do you reform somebody who kills a mother in front of their children? How much hatred do you have to have for that person just because she called for the police just to get you, out of there? Nah. I'd rather learn from other people's mistake. That way, yeah, exactly. Yes, you are right. Yeah, terrible. Yeah, and I couldn't believe the story when I, I'm sitting there looking at it, and I was like, it's unreal. And the people who were reporting the story, they were saying the same thing. Like, it's just unreal. They just came by and shot her while she was children in hand. Children right there, and they just came breezed by, bam, and casually shot her. See, that type of person, man, if that type of person gets erased, I'm not going to cry for them. I'm not going to cry for you. I don't have no remorse for that. I have nothing. I'm empty when it comes to that. Because your soul is empty if you can take somebody's life for nothing. You are an empty person. You know what I'm saying? And the gates of hell will find you. Like, but I can't do that. I can't understand that. Now, some of these cities, a lot of these, listen, a lot of these black territories were set up. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. I'm not a hood dude. I'm not a street dude either. I don't hang on the street. I don't know street slang. I don't do street stuff. I ain't never slang nothing in my life. I know what it is, but I ain't never done it. That's not what the Lord wanted me to do. So that's not what I did. I'm a regular, everyday, ordinary dude. That's what I am. I'm a regular black dude. That's what I am. I can still throw them things though, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't no street dude, man. I don't tote. I don't do none of that craziness. I don't hang with them. I don't do none of it. Right. I'm a regular, ordinary dude. You know what I'm saying? My thing was always love the ladies. That's what I did. That's what I'm known for. You know what I'm saying? Chasing chicks. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to street stuff, some street stuff I just don't get. I know there's a street code. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times when I'm dealing with street people, because they all have that same energy, they all want to, be heard and get over and make sure their point is the only point taken. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you deal with street people, like a lot of times I let a subject, because they'll sit there and try to make you look stupid, try to make it seem like you a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Just because they talk loud and you be looking at them like, why are we even arguing? You know what I'm saying? I used to date a street chick, and there's some things I loved about her, but the thing I couldn't stand about her was she always wanted to argue, and I'd be like, why are you yelling? Why are you arguing? But that's a street way of life. There's a street way of life that I don't get. So when you have these young people who you have young people who are very street, and these are the ones who are doing this. These are not regular everyday people, everyday black people going out and so what I'm saying are black people becoming too dangerous. I'm not talking about the regular everyday people who are just minding their business, going to work, coming home. You know what I'm saying? That's not who I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about all street people because there are some street people who don't want nothing to do with the mix. They were just born in it. But I'm talking about the people who are actively going out and creating a bad narrative for all black people. These are the people who they use when they're reporting the news. You notice how Chicago is always in the news. Not everybody in Chicago is out there acting a fool. But you're gonna notice that they're always talking about how bad it is in Chi-Town. But they never talk about the fact that the police were the one who were putting the guns on the block. The police did that. They never talk about who created that destructive music. No, our music back in 1990 wasn't talking about doing all this to. I mean, you got people rapping about doing stuff to somebody's mom and their children. What kind of demonic? What kind of? You listen. That is all demonic. That is not normal. That's not normal behavior to be like, I'm gonna go and do this to your mom and your children and your babies. That is a demon. Those are demonic spirits. And I'm trying to tell you, if you even sense somebody with that energy, don't go around them. Like we just had some people that moved in around here and they have that always want to be seen. They tote guns. They make sure you see their guns. I don't even rock with them on any level. On any level. Play their music loud, always want to be seen on no level. I don't rock with them because I don't want no beef with nobody. And I don't want to have to go and start, I've been arguing with the Lord about it, not really arguing, just been like, Lord, should I go and, what I'm saying? He like, nah, don't do it. I'm like, Lord, they out here hanging people. He like, don't do it. I'm like, that's because the Lord, look, the Lord's got his people. And he has his people set on a certain frequency. And he don't want you to move away from that frequency. He really doesn't. He's just like, it's safe here. But if you start listening to your own understanding, that's what the word says. Do not lean on your own understanding. When you start leaning on your own understanding, it's going to be all bad for you. You know what I'm saying? And like right now, it's just a scary time for me. You know what I'm saying? For you, especially for black men, because they're hanging us. And I'm like, my energy is way up when it comes to that. And I'm like, Lord, I'm ready to. He like, don't do it. Don't do it. And every time I see that they hung another black man, I'm like, Lord, you got to help me out because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to flex. He like, don't do it. So I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying to listen to the Lord. I'm trying to, stay on this planet longer. I'm trying to stay out of jail. But my reasonability also comes from my age. But the young people, when they're seeing this, and this is why some of these reactions, I can't blame the young people for. It's just that them going and killing their own kind and just straight up murdering just our children. These are not the Black Lives Matter people. These are not people who believe that every Black Lives Matter. That's not who these are. These are people, they're almost agents for, the Klan, if you ask me. The Klan actually wrote a letter to the Crips and Bloods and said, thank you for all you killing yourselves. You're doing us a favor. That's who they are to me. I'm like, you out here killing our children? I'm like, you're the Klan to me. You might as well be the KKK to me. You out here just shooting people just to be shooting them. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. So that's what I'm saying. Are black people becoming more dangerous? Because you got to understand, when good things happen with black people, it don't get that much attention. It's the bad things that get all this attention, and it's narrative that's spread all over the world. You know what I mean? I really don't know what to do about it because I don't know any of these people. I don't hang in these streets. You know what I'm saying? I can't go to knock on nobody's door and tell, Mama Jenkins, her grandson is out here tearing up the streets. He should turn himself in because, that, him and his crew done shot up somebody's 8-year-old little girl, little boy. I don't know these people, but we know that it's happening. You know what I'm saying? And what happens when it comes to your doorstep? You know, like these people that just moved in over here. Yo, son, if these cats, let me tell you something, man. These cats over here let off any bullets over here, and they hit anyone. Why are you driving like that? See, that's them right there. That's them right there, driving crazy as hell. They let off some bullets and they hit anyone, man. It's gonna be all bad. It's gonna be a bad deal. And all I can say is I think it's coming down to I think it's when you exude that much negative energy, man. Negative energy finds you. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just only a matter of time. But that's the younger generation. You can't tell them nothing. You can't even express to them how they're going down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. You can't say, yo, Sonny, you keep doing this, man. You gonna end up in the bang or 6 feet under. They'll shoot you just for giving them, just for telling them that. You know what I'm saying? They'll come right at you. So I can't even say nothing. But I can see, and these, as I said, they just pulled up. I can see in this generation, and these cats, man, they're about three or four doors over. It's gonna happen to them, and I'm hoping they don't take nobody out before God deals with them. I'm just hoping because we just had some other neighbors that moved in before them, and they have 1, 2, 3, 5 children that live there, and 1, 2, 3 of them are little girls, and they're all like the same age. They like, I don't know, 5 or something. And then my other neighbor, he got 2 kids. And son, if anything happened to any of them, man, it's gonna be bad. I'm worried. I'm really worried. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, none of them are my family, but I'm just worried. You know what I'm saying? Something's wrong with black people, man. We got to get it together. We got to do something. Something's got to give. Something's got to give, man. I'm worried. But yeah, so there are, I'm getting older, so I'll be in the house looking at the news all the time, looking at Yahoo News, World Star Hip Hop. I look at that every day, so I get a lot of information from there, whether it's true or not. You know what I'm saying? I told you before, when you guys asked me is what I read or what I saw real. I said if somebody reacts to it, that's what's real. The reaction to what you see and what you hear is real. If it made you change in some kind of way, it made you, do something in some kind of way, it made you go out and buy more food, it made you wear a mask, it made you do something, then it's real to you. But whenever I see that, the news and 59 people shot just in Chicago, what I'm saying, and then all these other cities are following suit, and all this crazy stuff that's going on, with the younger generation, man, I can't help but to be concerned, especially when I live in pretty much, on the same, not even 50 feet from some of them who are exhuming that energy. So I just wanted to get that off my, off my chest because it just really hurt me to see that that little girl went out like that. And then there was a bunch of other ones who did too, like 20 something kids just gone, just all wiped out by our own hand. And to look at that parent, the mother's face, mother and the father, when they had that interview, the father was like, "You killed your own." He was like, "Black Lives Matter." He was like, you know, she just wanted to go and see her cousin. And the mother was in the car when it happened. She said, "I was just making a U-turn." She said, "I didn't even realize, I was on the wrong side of the street because they don't have, those people aren't street people. They don't know that there is an imaginary line that people with blue cars are not supposed to cross." I don't even know if it was because of a blue car, but she said it was because she crossed into somebody's territory. They don't know that these territory exist. Like I would not know because I'm not a street person. I don't know that there is such a territory. You feel me? I don't know. I cross into somebody's territory. My truck is blue. My truck ain't even some blue. Truck is all the way blue. You feel me? My truck ain't even it might be. My truck ain't teal. You feel me? My dude ain't teal. It ain't, some kind of bluish. It ain't some sea green. My truck is blue. Okay? Blue. I can't cross into some territory because I drive this. That's why that 8-year-old little girl got knocked off. What up with you? That's why she got knocked off. That the mother drove into some area. She was unaware that it was some marked territory, and her little girl got killed. She was like, she didn't. It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna tell you another thing. Where I live at, not on this block. Where I live at, a place called the Short North. Yeah, speak to everyone. There's a place called the Short North here in Columbus, Ohio. It's completely changed now, but the Short North used to be a place that there's a group of black people called the Short North Posse. And listen, I'm not coming down on all black people. I'm not trying to make it seem like we're doing. But I'm saying that we can't be out here marching for equality and we don't treat ourselves like, we don't treat ourselves like we're worth living. We can't automatically look at each other with enmity and hatred, don't even know each other, did nothing to each other, and then murder each other and expect other races to respect us. We can't. We can't keep beating up our elderly. You can't keep robbing our elderly. You can't keep committing these heinous crimes with no respect and think that other races are going to look at us and hold us in some high regard. They're not. And I know every race kills each other. We know this. We know this. The Italians, they knock each other off. We know how that goes. The Japanese, the Chinese, we know each race kills each other. But nobody does it like black people. Nobody. See, a lot of them kill each other for a reason. It's usually money. It's usually money or tribal. Some kind of something. But it's usually money. is related. Us, no reason whatsoever. No reason. Because you have on a, you know, because you got on fuchsia. Fuchsia. I can't wear fuchsia. I can't wear hunter green, my G. No cerulean blue. Cerulean blue is a death sentence. That's what we're doing. Cloud white. I mean, get out of here with that. God made these colors, not you. And it's just ridiculous. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that in other races but us. And we're losing. We have no standing army. None. We have no standing army. Not one. Not one. We got some coalitions. Big ups to them. We see them went down there to Georgia because the Klan threatened them, so they went down to the birthplace of the Klan. Big ups to them. But you notice that those were all 30 and up people. We're pretty close to it. They wasn't these young gunners out here gunning people down. You ain't see none of them. You saw the 30 and up. Yeah, COVID's listen, COVID is getting crazy, and it's a lot of this is the fuel, is the caveat for some of these people to go out and commit these crazy crimes. And listen, if the law doesn't catch you, the Lord will. And I'm not saying that because I'm older. I've always been afraid of God. And I've done some crazy stuff in my life, mostly female related. You know, you ain't supposed to be sleeping with all them women. You ain't supposed to be doing that. That's where a lot of my guilt came in. Lord was like, you better leave them women alone. I'm like, come on, Lord, I can't be chasing women folk. I can't chase the lady. He's like, you better cut it out. You know what I'm saying? So I had to stop chasing women folk. I was chasing women folk. That's what I did. I was guilty. I couldn't help them legs, boy. Yeah. Anyways, but it's getting better here. Yeah, the NFAC militia, right. So big ups to them. Now, when I saw, I knew the Klan had threatened. Oh, okay, so I knew the Klan had threatened to start killing people. I did know this, and we pretty much seen that they did. They went out and killed 5 or 6 people and hung them. So we know the Klan they were for real. We don't know who did it, but we know the organization that did it. We don't know how it was done, but still, we know the organization. I say if you're gonna do all that, just come right out and say you did it. That way you can get dealt with. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be that brazen, come right out and say, yeah, I did it. So what? What you gonna do? But they took the coward's way out. So you had the NFAC step up, and I was listening to what they were saying when they were down there in Georgia. My sister lives in Stone Mountain, so she was talking about this too, and talking about she wish she was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't get along, but I don't wish you was there. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to march with the NFAC, they are no bull crap. They are all the way ready to give their life, and that's it. But the one dude was talking about, he said there were a lot of people who were online who said they was going to show up. And look, a lot of them didn't show up. Now, there are 40 million black people, you know, on this side of the planet. 40 million of us, you know what I'm saying? And all the people who were upset, I ain't saying 40 million was upset, but I'm saying he couldn't have had no more than 60 people. He couldn't have no more than 60. I didn't even know they were organizing, but he couldn't have, and don't have an AR-15. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them had AR-15s. It seemed to be the weapon of choice. But nonetheless, I don't have an AR-15, so I wouldn't have been able to join them anyway, except, you know, just to be there supporting them. but I support the movement. I believe that we should be able to protect ourselves. It was to me a peaceful march. They made it very clear, if you come down here, if the KKK wants to get it on, then let's come out here and get it on. And those 60 people, or give or take, they were ready to go. They were like, we're ready. We're all, let's go. We're on your doorstep where you were created. If this is what you want, like, don't quit hanging people and taking a coward's way out. If you're going to do this, here we are. Here are some black people who are ready to go. Now the playing field is even. Get 60 of your KKK idiots who hung people, hung black people, get them to come on out here and, let's go. Here we go. Come out here and try to hang. That's what they were saying. And I understand that 100%. 100%. Now, I'm going to say also this about the KKK. The KKK is a religion. All right. Now, some people say the U.S. government had destroyed or disbanded the KKK, but we know that that didn't happen the way like they're saying they did. It's just like somebody saying they got rid of, the mob. You didn't get rid of the mob. You didn't get rid of that one mob out there. Not the Chinese, not the Italian, there's not one mob that you got rid of. Every single mob that started here is still here. So you did not get rid of the mob. They're still here. And usually you guys know who they are. The federal government knows who they are. But as far as the NFAC, I was with them 100% in what they were trying to do. What was it? You have one? Not AK-47. They had AR-15. Oh yeah, AK-47. Yeah. Oh, they had AK-40. Well, yeah. Yeah. I once called the police because I was going to get an AR-15. And I called him, I said, am I allowed to get an AR-15? It's like, you are not allowed to have an assault rifle. And my whole complaint was the police have assault rifles. Why can't the citizens have assault rifles? But you are allowed to have assault rifles. You can't have a fully automatic assault rifle. That you cannot have, but you can have an assault rifle. If you're not smart about it, you're going to get your whole block knocked off, just like the guy who just shot up a Walmart. Went and shot up a Walmart. Once the police, caught up with him, he started having a shootout with the police. And when they finally stopped him, even though he had dropped his gun, they had already put him to death. Well, they shot him. He went to the hospital and died. So there goes your life. All because you wanted to shoot up a Walmart. Your life is over. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that was a smart move. You went to shoot up a Walmart? For what reason? Because you're mad at, price of chicken? The falling prices of, bananas? You went and shot up a Walmart. Why? Explain that to us. Yo, be very careful out here, man. Please let yourself get pulled over into. Please don't let yourself, this thing is what you want to say, into the things you're seeing in your hood. Well, here's what I'm saying. The whole purpose of crime that we are committing on ourselves, and that, me being somebody who doesn't get into it, what I'm saying? I don't look for it. I don't advocate it. I don't support it. I don't want it. I think it's only a matter of very short time that it comes to, my doorstep here because of my neighbors. We have had two groups of young people move in, and the activity has kicked off. Matter of fact, 1, 2, 3 are spots, and one of them is a little, he does his little thing, but their aggression is way higher than what we're used to seeing around here. Yeah, and I don't want to be in between it. Me and another lady was talking about it, and so we're thinking about getting out of here. I'm definitely thinking about getting out of here. I actually think they'll be gone before, and I'm hoping nothing pops off. But I'm just saying the younger generation has no regard for the older generation. They don't. They have no regard, and that's why we're seeing all of these murders happening to our own people. And listen, you can't defund the police. These people run around rampant and kill your 8, 9 year old. What up? You can't do that. Not unless you're ready to take up arms and go and see about the people who done this to your children. And when I say you go and see about them, I don't mean you're going to go talk to them and use rational thought and reason with them. I mean you're going to turn their house into Swiss cheese and get the person who done this and in their life. If you're not about that noise, then you need to stop talking about defunding the police. You know, cut it out. I understand defunding the police. I understand it. I understand that a lot of stuff, a lot of their dealings are criminal. I get it. You know, they're supposed to be the, example of how to, be. They're supposed to uphold the law, but they're not. They are criminals. We get that 100%, but not every police officer is a criminal. And you're going to need them. If you're not about that life, then you need to stop talking about defunding the police. If you're not ready to take up arms, if you're not that person, then you need to cut that out. Don't get on the Black Lives Matter, posts and start, yeah, we need to get rid of. No, you need to get on there and start talking about the opposite and use some rational thought. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think we should defund the police. I think the police know who the bad apples are. You know who's out there committing crime. You know who's out there robbing people. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. What happened in out there after Johnny Gray died? The police killed him. 8 other guys. They were all drug dealers, and they were robbing drug dealers, but they were robbing the big drug dealers. They didn't even want the small fries. Here's the thing: you're supposed to be stopping those drug dealers, but they were robbing them like at gunpoint and taking their money. And that money wasn't going into freaking some kind of holding area and then being put back out in the community the right way. That money was being put into their pocket. And when they saw that they can make a good living by robbing drug dealers and thinking nobody cares, they started extorting other people. See, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's what happened to them. They were corrupted absolutely. And they started doing this to people who had nothing to do with drugs. They're like, what are you talking about? We don't even know what you're talking about, bro. Like, what are you doing? And then when you start robbing the innocent, you start killing the innocent, that's when it comes after you. You cannot shed innocent blood and think that it's not going to come for you. God has a special place in his heart for innocence. He does. And I don't mean you have to be a child to be innocent. I mean you have to be not guilty of the crime and not deserving of the punishment that you have received. What's the word say? The word says, do not bear false witness. Don't sit up there and say somebody did something you know that they didn't. And then you have the nerve to punish them for it. Do not do that. Do not become a part of that system. You won't sit up there and punish somebody for something you know damn well they didn't do. That's what these officers were doing out in Baltimore. Baltimore is a crazy place to live. You know what I'm saying? Pretty women though, my goodness. Some beautiful black women out there, but man, if you ain't ready, don't rock with it. They are different. They are different. So that's what I was talking about. That's what this whole chat was about, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to clean up our own. But I don't know how to go next door and tell this young man, yo, bro, the energy that you giving off, man. You look. This dude makes sure we see his gun. Look, that's some new stuff to me. Like you don't have license to first. You're not running around with a badge. You're not a security guard. Like I could see you being a security guard, and you got your registered revolver. You going to work. I get that 100%. We got a guy around here who's like that. You can tell he is security. You know what I'm saying? He wears all black. He has his weapon where you can see it. You know what I'm saying? It's not concealed. But you got your weapon tucked into your pants. And every time you come out, you got your hand on your weapon where we can see like you ready to go. Nah, bro, you gonna hurt somebody. You're gonna hurt yourself too. And you're not the only one around here who's loaded like that. You know what I'm saying? My one neighbor, man, he definitely like, look, if I get into it, I'm taking somebody out of here. He got two little ones to protect. What you think he's going to do? You start look. They were shooting off fireworks out here a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Man, I went and grabbed my guns." You see what I mean? He's like, "I went and grabbed my guns. I was ready." Yo, that type of energy, man, is and make it so bad. When I heard it too, I was like, "Oh, stuff. I gotta take a trip to the pawn shop." Because I thought it was going down too, but it was just a bunch of fireworks. They were firing off M80s. So M80s make that loud bang. And they were doing it right over here in the street, and I live over there. Turns out that you could hear that bang a whole mile away. They were letting so many of them off, the police heard it and came around. And somebody called the police. They was doing it during the weekday and kept everybody up. So yeah, and when New Year's, around here, I'm just saying, it's just a matter of time before it goes bad, and I'm hoping it don't. I don't want to be involved in it, but you do not want to be sitting in a county jail, especially now. You've been looking at those videos of the guys who are in jail and they can't get out, meaning that they can't get an early out because of COVID-19. They got guys in there who are visibly sick with COVID-19, and they telling them that, yo, you just gonna have to cover your face with whatever you have, because we're not doing nothing for y'all. And they just leaving them in there to die. So it's just spreading in the jails like wildfire. I mean, you're supposed to have what, 6 feet, according to whatever doctor who's giving us, you know, where you gonna get 6 feet in a cell? Hell, some of the cells barely that they're not that wide. The cells are not 6 feet wide. And I know this because I can touch one end of the wall and the other end of the. Some of those cells ain't 6 feet wide. It's all bad in there. You do not want no part of that action right now. None. None whatsoever. Because it is all bad. And all that early release, if you ain't popular, she don't know your name. You ain't 6'9", you can forget it. You in there. You in that joint. Nah. Nah. I'm good on all that. But like I said, we don't have a standing army. There's 40 million of us and we don't have an army. 40 million people. You got some countries that don't even have that many people and they have an army. We have no army. We got plenty of people running around with guns, but we don't have an army. We don't have no rank structure, no organization. I mean, the NFAC, 60 people, that's not an army. That's a squad. That's what that is. That's just a squad. Listen, in the military, and I'm not going to talk about the military that much. In the military, when, of course, there's a lot more people in the U.S. Army, but whenever, we had a squad, you had about 60 people in a squad. It's about that. You had 4 squads. Yep. Yeah. You had about 4 people. You had about 4 squads. You had about 60 people, and yeah, somewhere around there. It varies, but about 60 people, and that made up your company, or it might have been more than that. Yeah, around there. Yeah, around there. I didn't see an army. Now, if I would have saw, 4 or 5 thousand people, all heavily armed like that, and came out, that's the beginning of that's almost an army. That's almost an army. That is the equivalent of 1 battalion. Regiments, about 4,000 people it's actually less than a battalion, but that's what you're getting close to. About 4,000 people. It's a little less than a battalion. All right. No, I'm sorry. It's a little less than a brigade. Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm just doing it off of my memory of 30 years ago. So, brigade, I think it's a little bigger than that. I think it's like 6, 7 thousand, but it's a lot. So that's pretty much the whole fort that's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, somewhere around there. It's probably a little bit more than that because when Fort Raleigh rolled out, that whole tank brigade rolled out, MPs and all that, they all rolled out too. So it was a lot of people. And I'm pretty sure it was more than 6,000 people that rolled out. As a matter of fact, I know it was. The skeleton crew was left. I was part of that skeleton crew. Anyways, I digress from the military stuff. You guys don't want to hear about that. Okay, so as far as your hood is concerned, like I almost want to go out and start campaigning, not against the hood, but I almost want to have like march up and down the street with a like black people stop killing black people sign or something. Like I want to start like something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I do like Terry Crews was talking about, and we went over this in the last video. But Terry Crews was talking about how all lives matter, and of course, uh, Don Lemon or whoever spoke out against him. Not Don Lemon. Was it Don Lemon? I don't know. He spoke to him. It was trying to explain to him that there is a difference between Black Lives Matter and All People Matter and All Lives Matter. And Terry Crews is like, we got blacks on blacks killing each other. And, old dude was like, that has nothing to do with equality. This is all true. But the way we can't easily discard our own lives and expect other people to care about our lives. That's what he was really talking about. And he should have just tweeted that. Expect other people to care about us if we don't care about us. They look at us and go, equality, why? Why should I give you guys equality when I don't think you guys have equality amongst yourselves. You guys are not equal amongst yourselves. There's some place that I can't go, and I'm black, and I cannot walk into some areas. I can't, and I've done nothing to nobody. But I know that I will get offed. I will get robbed. I know it. It's all bad for me. In a black neighborhood, simply because I'm black. I've done nothing. I can go there with a Jesus Save sign handing out pumpkin pie. I will get robbed for my pumpkin pie and my Jesus Save sign along with my clothes and shoes. This. They have made it very clear. We want the Jesus sign. We want the pumpkin pie, especially in everything you got on. And run up and run your behind on up out of here. I was watching on World Star where these dudes was fighting. These three dudes was fighting this one guy, and his girl was with him, right? So the guy takes off his shirt, the guy by himself, and he knuckles up with a dude who was way out of his pounds. More than that, this guy hit him once, clack, and knocked him out cold. Okay, so they knock him out cold. His girl goes and jumps on him like, please stop hitting him. And then, of course, they robbing him. And then the one really don't get this. I don't get this right here. They knock him out. Then they start robbing him. And then one dude pulls his pants down. Talking about you ass out. Explain why you want to pull another man's pants down. I ain't never been in a street fight and was like, I'm gonna beat you up and pull your pants down. Like I think if somebody said that to me, I think I just wouldn't fight that person. I'd be like, you know what? No, bruh, we good. I don't know what we's fighting over, but it's just not that important. Because no, like why? Why? What is that? You knocked me out in front of my girl. You jumped me in front of my woman. That's bad enough. All right. My woman had to see this, but of course, but the thing about it is, his woman jumped on him after he was laying there knocked out. She jumped on him and was protecting him. Two, she didn't just leave him like, get up, you got knocked out. You know how people like to do. Uh, she realized it's a 3-on-1 and you was out of your weight class and you got knocked out. Like, he hit me first. He hit the girl first. That's why dude started fighting him. Because he hit the girl and he was just like, oh no, I got to swing on you now, even though I'm going to get knocked out. So he did all he could. But then you rob him and you pull his pants down. Ah, I'm sorry. I just these new people, you new people, I don't get y'all. I could see getting in a one-on-one and tearing it, yeah, getting it in, win, lose, or draw. Yo, let's go, let's get it. And everybody talked about who was going to fight after school. Eighth grade, ninth grade, you went out there and you threw hands, and if you got knocked out, stunned, or you won, that was it. You had a rep for fighting. But you ain't never see somebody talking about pulling a dude's pants. That's an automatic no-no. You in trouble after that. You can't go back to school. You're not going back to school. You can forget it. Now, a chick, if that happens, that's a whole different story because chicks do that to chicks to embarrass them in front of everybody else. So I get that. Chicks rip each other's clothes off because it's embarrassing. That's a part of chick fights. That's what it is, and that's the reason why so many people want to watch them because they just like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this. This chick is going, she going, But I don't get it. I don't get the new age anything. I'm just an old. I'm almost 53, so I don't know anything anymore. The one person said, "Tony, you too old to be fighting." That's not even the point. I'm not too old to understand combat. I understand combat. I don't understand the stuff outside of combat. I don't understand murdering children. I don't. In Vietnam, when they came back, the white soldiers, when they came back from Vietnam, the white soldiers were spit on because they knew that they had killed Vietnamese children. And one of the reasons why they knew is because, and let me tell you why that was such a big deal. And why it was such a big deal. Because there is something called the Geneva Code. The Geneva Code is a book, pretty much a list of rules, almost like the Magna Carta, and it pretty much states how you should fight. Now, this Geneva Code is so powerful that it had countries throwing away their gas, because they used to fight with gas warfare. A lot of these countries who had gas, once they knew about the Geneva Code, would take their gas, had it in barrels and start dumping it in the ocean. And of course, it didn't take long before, salt water ate through that metal, and then that gas, nonetheless. So the Geneva Code is a book on how countries fight each other. All right. So I mean, just think about that. You know what I'm saying? And some of these countries don't know about the Geneva Code, and they're not going to follow the Geneva Code. When America went to Vietnam for whatever reason, and that war kicked off, I don't know the whole history of it. Nonetheless, America was getting their behind whooped until they quit. And when America was fighting, they noticed that these people fought with everything they had, meaning the children fought too. So so most Americans are bleeding heart Americans, you know what I'm saying? So if we see a child, we think we're not going to harm this child. Well, guess what? If this child is carrying a grenade, in their, on their persons, and you can't see it, well, there goes, 40, 50 people who, if you're in the blast radius of a grenade, you're in close quarters, that's going to rip through 20 of them. The rest of you are going to be seriously injured. You're not going to be fighting anytime soon. So you have that danger. And when this started happening, you started having soldiers killing children. So in the midst of all this, of course, the news was reported. So when the news was reported, and they came back, and you told somebody that you were a veteran, they automatically start calling you a baby killer. So they started spitting on them. You know what I'm saying? Now, the black soldiers never got respect. Some of them actually got hung. Black soldiers in their army uniforms. So you fought for a country against a country that did nothing to you, and you came home to the country that you fought for, and they killed you. This actually did happen. I mean, just imagine that. Those things really did happen. So yeah, that's where that whole baby killer and all that other stuff comes from. And it's simply because the Vietnamese changed the way we fight wars. They did. They was like, we don't care about the Geneva Code. We're gonna fight with everything, and that's what they did. That's why America lost so many people, because we had a way and a mental way of fight. Okay, let me put you in a better mind of it. Remember Paul Revere and the British, back in the colonial days? So you remember when the British, came over here? They sailed over here because they wanted to bring those uh, pilgrims back who, the queen wanted those people. Actually, they were indentured servants. So the queen was like, you still belong to me. So she sent the best navy at that time, besides the Spaniards. She sent the best navy and said, go and get those people, in the New World or whatever they call it. Go get those people who sold, to America. And if they don't want to come back, go ahead and knock them off. Well, those people started fighting back. So that's when you have the red coats and the blue coats. Well, their way of fighting was load your gun, stand up, point your gun at each other, and fire. Boom. You get hit with a bullet, you just get hit. You don't, you just wait till you get hit. Reload. One shot. Reload. You're just waiting to get hit in the face with a ball flying at you 700 miles an hour. Well, no. But that was the rules. That was the rules to the game. And then, of course, if you ever seen The Patriot with Mel Gibson, you'll notice that once they got into the jungle, things changed because there was, as you ever, if you ever heard it, jungle warfare. It's just a whole different style of fighting. So I just wanted to talk about. Of course, you guys probably already knew that, but as a soldier, I just wanted to talk about that. Even well, I'm not going to talk about me being in the military, but they call them baby killers. See, we're up against jungle warfare right now. We are. We are. If you took out all the gun violence that black people have committed against each other, if every gun owner was a responsible person and was not focused on killing their own kind, there would be a whole new respect for black people. There would be. There would be. The whole unity in the community, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember any of that, but unity in the community was a big thing back in the 90s before it all got torn apart by NWA and those guys. There would be a lot more respect for black people. And I say it again, you cannot disrespect your family and expect your family to be respected by other people. When they see you treating your brothers and sisters like crap, they think it's okay to treat your brothers and sisters like crap. This is what Terry Crews was talking about. And it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? First thing comes out these women's mouth when they talk to each other, even in casual just talking, is the B word. Why are y'all calling each other that? It's not cute. There is nothing cute about that word. That word is a word of aggression to me. Somebody call me that, I'm thinking, them's fighting words. You're not gonna call me that and think that I'm not gonna want to slap the hell out of you. And I done had a white girl say that to me. A white girl said that to me, and I wanted to reach across the counter and just knock her straight in her damn teeth. And I should have. I should have, but I knew I'd have caught a case. But she said it like it wasn't, like nothing was going to happen. And I ain't doing anything because I'm a humble black man. But I should have knocked that white girl right in her face. I should have punched her right in her grill, like, pow! Don't say it again. Now, I'm not that type of, I don't have that demeanor. It takes me a minute to get worked up. But because I'm not really that type of dude, but that's what she deserved. Like, she gonna get too comfortable saying that, and I'm hoping she say it to the right dude, and he, she's missing, an incisor or something, a bicuspid or something is just not there anymore because, she think it was, can casually say that to people. That's what you did. You know what I'm saying? But we're in guerrilla warfare right now. We're at war with each other. We're so casual about it because it ain't happened to us yet. I couldn't imagine my little girl getting gunned down like that. I couldn't imagine me doing it and then not doing nothing about it, or her doing that happening and then me doing nothing. I couldn't imagine it, no matter who did it. I couldn't imagine seeking the Lord. I can't. I couldn't imagine that, and then praying that the Lord would. Okay. Black people are becoming more and more dangerous. It's because of the generation that's coming up. generation that's coming up are what they're gonna look at. I don't I don't go to no clubs, no block parties, no large gatherings. Maybe a small gathering, you know what I'm saying? But large gatherings, I don't feel right. I feel like something's gonna happen. I just do. I just got that feeling like it's about to go down in any given moment, and it usually does. I don't feel safe because the stray bullet has no name. I mean, how do you live a good life and be a just a good God fearing person? I'm not saying that like I'm somebody two shoes, but I'm saying that how can you be 8 years old and just you're not here anymore? You don't have nothing to do with nothing. How do you blame that? How do you? I mean, that's capital justice. And how do you not come forward? You hide like a coward, as if you didn't do anything. And have mercy if you're braggadocious about it. How are you not on your face, go to sleep, and not think about what you just did? There's no sympathy for these people, and they don't have any sympathy for us. It could be anybody, and they'll brag about it like it's the thing to do. I was watching a video where they jumped this kid. They jumped this one dude, and they beat him so bad. I mean, they stomped his whole face out so bad. Like this dude was completely gone. He was completely out. I don't know what he did, but he was completely gone, and they were just beating the hell out of him. And there was nothing there. There was no fight there. It was he couldn't handle all of them anyway. There was like 9 of them that just jumped on. And then you saw that one video in New York where a bunch of these kids mobbed this girl. They just mobbed her like a bunch of boys, right there in front of everybody, right on the corner, busy corner too. They mobbed this girl, kicked her all in her face, knocked her completely out, then took her shoes and left her there. These are the monsters that are coming up in this world, making us look bad. A one on one, a fair one on one, is a thing of the past. If there's if there's two of them, two, three of them, they're about to jump you. You get into it and there's more than one, you're about to get jumped. Somebody's gonna sneak you. If they're losing, they're gonna jump in it. It's going down. So if you're not ready to fight 3, 4, 5, 6 people, then don't do it. Just apologize and back up if you can. Hell, give them a couple dollars. Just get out of there. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose more than your pride. And everybody got their pride. Everybody got their strengths and weaknesses. But you're gonna lose everything. And you could lose your life. There was a MMA fighter. I don't know if he's in prison or not. But MMA fighters, they know how to fight. This is what they do. He got into an argument with a bodybuilder. Bodybuilder, huge white dude. MMA fight, probably maybe 165 pounds, maybe. Bodybuilder, good 240. Just a big person. Swole up. They got the jaw jacking on whose sport was better. They took it outside. I don't know what convinced that bodybuilder that he was any match for this MMA fighter. What, because he's smaller and you're stronger than he is? This is what jujitsu is for. Jiu-jitsu was made for people who don't have a lot of upper body strength. You don't know anything about it, go look at Horace Gracie. But that's why jiu-jitsu was made. For the person who has a weaker upper body, you don't need a lot of pressure to put to make somebody submit if you get to their joints. Anyways, this MMA fighter squared off on this dude after he took his shirt off, and big man couldn't move like the little dude could, so he moved once to his right, then he moved once to his left, then he faded to his right, and he hit this dude with a roundhouse kick to the face. Bow! He kicked this dude so sweet, it looked like something off of a video game. It was bow! And that guy fell like an iron cross. He just fell backwards, arms straight out. Bow! Hit the ground, head hit the ground, died. Dead. One kick, boom. Once his head hit the ground, boom. Drink that in next time you want to scrap with somebody. Anyways, so I just felt like getting some things off my chest. I'm going to go ahead and go, so I don't need to bore you guys anymore. I appreciate you guys listening. For the 4 people who still left, I appreciate all 4 of you. Y'all know I do. I don't get a lot of traffic on these subjects. It's always good talking to you guys because I don't really have a social life. Like, this is my social life. I don't go out and socialize, but I don't mind. I don't mind. Anyways, God loves you and so do I. You guys take it easy.